Of course, the day that I decided to film this very spring video, the day is extremely overcast. It's been raining all day, but we're gonna do what we can. I hope the light is not as terrible as I'm imagining. I feel like maybe the overcast is gonna help. But anyway, hi, my name is Rita. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here for the very first time, we talk a little bit about everything in here: makeup, beauty, bags, and the occasional reading or book video, which of course it's what we're gonna be doing today. I don't have as much time to read as I wish I did, so my TBR is very short, very minimal books. I only picked 6. I feel like every time I watch these videos of like spring TBRs or like monthly TBRs, they're like this massive list of like 20-30 books. That's not something you're gonna find in my channel anytime soon, probably ever, but I know that I can read like 2 to 3 books depending on the length. So I'm gonna be talking about the picks that I did for spring. These are not necessarily like spring reads. They are just books that I've bought lately that have been on my TBR and the ones that I'm most eager to read. So they just went in the spring one. In no particular order, let's start with my picks. I really don't have any rhyme or reason why I picked this. Honestly, just because I was really eager to read all of these books. I have a ton of books, and I'm looking here because I have a ton of books here that I recently bought. I'm gonna be filming a kind of like book haul, so that's coming probably after this video. But anyway, this particular 6 were the ones that I am the most excited about, and one of them is also part of a book club that I'm gonna be doing with one of my good friends from my childhood. We decided to do a book club, just the 2 of us, so I'll get started in a minute. But let's start with the classics. I did pick 2 classics. Currently, I'm reading The Picture of Dorian Gray. I think I've mentioned that already. So that will be my first classic of the year. So I did kind of like make myself as a goal to read more classics this year. So let's start with the Queen of Mystery, and that is of course Agatha Christie. I've never read anything from hers, but I do love and enjoy a good thriller mystery. So I thought, why not? Let's see what all the fuss is about. I know she has a ton of following and people really love her writing. Apparently it's kind of, some people love her, some people don't really enjoy it at all. So I want to try for myself, and I went for the very first one from the Hercule Poirot series. It's one of her main characters. There's another Mrs. Maple, I don't remember her name, I'll put it right here. But I decided, let's start with Hercule because he's the very first one, and this is the first one on the series, The Mysterious Affairs at Styles. So I don't know what to expect, I just know it's mystery, it's a classic, and those 2 things sound like a dream. So I will be reporting. I don't know when during, this springtime I'm gonna be reading this. I just know it's part of my spring TBR, obviously. But yeah, this is the first one from the list. On to the second book, which is definitely my most anticipated. I think this is going to be part of my April books. I do have 2 of them. One of them is gonna be the one that I'm gonna do from the book club, and then the second one, which is of course a romance, Pride and Prejudice. I have read back and forth this book, but never fully finished. So I've started and then I dropped it and then I came back to it through literally years at this point, but I've never read it from front to back. So I am determined to read this one this time around. I do have actually 2 copies of these. I just love the other one. Let me actually go grab it. It's from the Barnes & Noble collection. And of course I have seen the movie so many times with Keira Knightley. It is just one of my favorite movies of all time. And here is the beautiful cover that I was telling you about from Barnes & Noble. I'm actually trying, or I'm collecting, every time I go to Barnes & Noble, I'll pick one of these beautiful classics, not only from Jane Austen. I also have it here, The Picture of Dorian Gray. It's from the same collection. I think they're absolutely stunning, and I love the soft kind of leather-like cloth bound that these ones come in. I really like them. They're $15. If you are, near a Barnes & Noble's and you like or enjoy classics, I would definitely recommend this these editions. But for the purposes of reading and annotating, I'm gonna be grabbing this one. This one, honestly, I bought it because it's absolutely beautiful, but I always knew that I was gonna read my, I don't know, is it like a mass-produced paperback? I don't know. But I'm gonna be using this one to annotate. I've had this for, oh my goodness, probably since I was in high school, so it's been a while. It's literally labeled for $3. I don't think I can buy any book that's brand new from anywhere for $3. But anyway, this is gonna be my second one on my list. Let's move on with contemporary authors, and we're gonna start with probably I want to say a favorite of mine, which is of course a very famous Taylor Jenkins Reid. I feel like everywhere you go, we're talking about books, she's always mentioned. She's facing some kind of backlash about her latest book, Carrie Soto is Back. And I don't know, I mean, I'm Mexican, obviously. And apparently the community, the Hispanic community is giving, you know, a little bit of hate to her because she's obviously not Hispanic. She's a white woman writing a book about Hispanic protagonist. I don't know, I haven't read it. I could care less, to be honest. Like, if a white person writes about us, if it's not offending, I don't care. That's just me personally. And I really like her writing. This is gonna be my fourth, I can't remember, third or fourth read from hers. My favorite being, I probably want to say Daisy Jones, and then The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. But anyway, I have two new books from hers, but I think I'm gonna dive into this one first. This one, True Loves. So you probably heard about this one. It's just about a woman who marries her high school sweetheart, and then, just as it says, I'm trying to see, like, you probably saw about this. So he goes missing in a helicopter crash, presumed to be dead. So then time goes on and she gets into a relationship with someone else, and apparently this book is her trying to pick between, oh, and then her husband that apparently was presumed dead comes back to life. He's like, hey, I'm here, I did not die. So she has to pick between her current love and her high school sweetheart who she was married to. So it sounds very interesting, and again, I really love her style, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna enjoy this a lot. Let's move on with the last three, and I just noticed that literally all my TBR, with the exception of Miss Agatha Christie, is going to be romance. All the books that I picked are going to be romance, but that's fine with me. I love me a good romance book, clearly. So the next one is a YA romance, and that is the very famous Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. This cover is just stunning. I'm not gonna lie, whenever I saw everywhere online this book, I haven't even heard anything about it. I'm like, oh my goodness, I've gotta have it, because this is the cutest, most fun cover ever. I am a little upset that Amazon has it like in a really bad shape, but whatever, it's still very beautiful. This is going to be probably one of my favorite tropes, maybe second favorite trope, which is gonna be enemies to lovers. They're like next door neighbors, growing up together, hated each other, and we're gonna floor into a romance. Very springy. I feel like that's definitely very springy. And again, the covers. The fact that it's called Better Than the Movies, I am already sold. I am a person who loves watching movies. I don't have the time to do that anymore, but when I was younger growing up, movies were my thing. So anyway, I'm very excited about this one. I just got this book in the mail, and this is also one of my favorite tropes. So lovers to enemies, back to lovers. And that is Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. I don't know how to pronounce that. This is what the cover looks like. This is a misconnection, a second chance at love. I absolutely love second chance romances. Probably one of my favorite tropes as well. I can't pick which one is my favorite, but I think probably like friendship to lovers to strangers and lovers, and then lovers to enemies to lovers. Nothing like a good second chance romance. So yeah, this is actually my pick for my book club with my friend. I was in New York very recently, and she lives in New York. She's one of my childhood friends. Like literally we've known each other since we were like 6 years old. So anyway, when I was at her apartment, I went to visit and I saw she had a couple of books from Colleen Hoover. I'm like, oh, you like Colleen Hoover? And we started talking about books. One thing led to another, and we're like, hey, do you want to do a book club? And we went, or we're going for this one for the month of April. So this is going to be my first read of April. I have to pick two. This one, of course, already. I don't know if I'm gonna go for Better Than the Movies or Miss Agatha Christie. I don't know. So once I'm done with this one, I'll see what I'm in the mood for between, you know, these six. So yeah, this is going to be my first of spring and my first of the month. And then lastly, I was sold the minute I saw this cover, and also I see everyone talking about it lately on booktube and on BookTok. But it's like black and white. You either love it or you hate it. And that is Miss Jessa Hastings with Magnolia Parks. The thing that I hear the most is like, imagine your Gossip Girl kind of book, but better. So that apparently is what this book is like, especially like the whole Blair and Chuck relationship, like that kind of like enemies, friends, lovers, like toxic relationship. That's the one thing that people say, like, don't go into this thinking that it's going to be like a romance. Like, this is, of course, I think this is a romance book. I'm not entirely sure what's the genre, but it's like a very toxic relationship. That's kind of like the only thing that I've heard, that people are like, I don't love it because it's very toxic. But I love me some Gossip Girl, and I love a romance, and if it's toxic, the more the merrier. I think it's gonna be very, very entertaining. Again, cover is just gorgeous. This is part of a series. I believe it's 4 books, so I'm hoping I like this one. I told myself I was not gonna buy any like full series until I first read the first book. If I liked it, then I would move on with buying like second, third, whatever. So that's what I'm gonna be doing with this. This is a thick one, so it's probably the biggest book of my bunch. But this I definitely want to rush into, so I'll probably have this not for the month of April, because I have a couple more that I want to read first, but this is definitely coming for me to start reading in May. This is going to be a good one. I feel like I'm gonna enjoy it, but we'll see. Okay, you guys, so that's gonna be everything for today. I did mention in one of my latest vlogs, or maybe like, I don't know, a month or so back, that I was getting more into books and reading. So my channel, I like to talk about what I like, whether that's makeup, bags, clothing, now books. I've always been a very avid reader growing up as a child, and I kind of like dropped it around, I want to say college, middle high school, but even in high school I really loved reading. But anyway, somewhere around that time that I started growing up, I just stopped reading altogether, with the occasional book maybe once a year, if that. So this year I told myself I really enjoy reading, so let's make it a habit again, to the point that I literally have like alarms during my day when I take my breaks during, you know, work day, to sit down and read. I was wasting so much time just scrolling on my phone forever, so now I'm using that time to reading, and it's been wonderful. But anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.